Welcome back, everybody. We've got another WWE pay-per-view predictions show. Just finished and recorded and put up on YouTube my predictions for NXT Stand and Deliver. So hopefully you are coming here right after checking that out. If not, feel free to give that a watch as well. They will both be pinned to the top of my Twitter page. You can also check out in the next couple of days, I will be releasing a prediction show for Impact's Hardcore Justice pay-per-view that'll be on Saturday as well. So as you can see, lots of content. I know I'm not the only one putting this out here. So if you are watching, do appreciate that very, very much. So give the video a thumbs up, give the channel a subscribe. Go follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram at AngryBeaver1127. Went into a lot of the logistics of how this next week and a half or so is going to work in the takeover predictions show. So I'll spare the repeat for those of you who are coming in from that one. And I'm going to jump right into predictions here. So we've got a 12 match WrestleMania card. I am recording this on Saturday, April 3rd. So we are a full week away. And those of you that are familiar enough with the WWE know that a full week is enough time to make a lot of big changes. So we'll see how much of this card looks the same in a week. But hopefully with it being WrestleMania, you know, the granddaddy of them all, they don't make too many changes here. But as of right now, we have a 12 match card. So we'll see how much this card looks like in a week. But wanted to get these out here as early as I can, because I know there's a lot of these out there. I know with all the chaos that this week's going to look like, I wanted to get this out here in advance so that those of you who have expressed to me that, hey, I do appreciate your prediction videos, that I can get those out to you guys with enough time to let it breathe, so to speak. So again, I appreciate those of you who have been watching. So let me give you what you came here for. Let's jump right into these predictions. We'll start with night one, which will have 6 matches, and then we'll jump right into night two, which will also have 6 matches, again, as it currently sits. We'll start off with a match that I don't know what the order will be. I wouldn't be opposed to kicking off a WrestleMania with 2 guys as good as Seth Rollins and Cesaro. I can think of a lot worse things that we can get. So again, I don't know the order, but I'm just kind of going in an order that to me makes sense, but may not be the order that we get all this stuff in. So Cesaro is going to take on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has been back for a little while, basically since the Royal Rumble. He was away for a little bit right after that, and then obviously he was gone for a little while while his first child was born. So congrats to the new dad. But since coming back, he hasn't really accomplished a whole lot. He has been feuding with Cesaro a lot. So this isn't something that's just kind of hey, these 2 guys are both good, let's throw them together. But there hasn't been too much beyond just hey, they've been arguing for a couple of weeks. Cesaro is a great talent. He's a guy that you want to have in your locker room for whatever purpose, because he can do pretty much anything you need him to do. But to me, he's also becoming that guy the last couple of years of he's the get a good win against someone good type of guy. And to me, that's the role that he's being asked to play. And Seth Rollins is a guy who doesn't lose at Mania very often, but lost at Mania last year. So maybe trying to bounce that back, as well as trying to really get Rollins rolling, for the lack of a better term. I apologize for the terrible dad pun there, but that's what we're getting here. So I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to win this one. And to me, it's just Rollins is the guy you're going to do more with in the next year than you will with Cesaro. And that's not a slight against Cesaro. Cesaro is a fantastic talent. He's a guy that if I could listen to and learn from, I would definitely do so. But knowing the way they're booking this stuff, to me, Rollins is the pick that makes sense here. We're going to get Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman, and they're going to go in a cage. And then we're going to see a match that was built really poorly. I enjoy seeing Shane McMahon's matches because, and I know I'm a very rare person that feels that way, but I like his matches because he is one to go for a crazy spot. His matches typically make you go, man, I didn't want to see him fight, but that fight was really fun. I've gotten used to that to the point where I'm just looking forward to seeing whatever the crazy spot's going to be. I've mentioned on Throwback's channel, give him a watch, by the way. You can catch me most Tuesdays with him. I'll also be doing a live prediction show, a little less detailed than this one, but with a couple other people tomorrow, Sunday night at 6 Eastern time. So keep an eye out for that one to come out too. But I mentioned this on his shows before that I would love to see Braun throw Shane into a gigantic vat of slime, because we saw the whole slime thing a couple weeks ago. Uh, I wanted to see it off the pirate boat, but it doesn't look like we're getting that, which I will be honest, I'm okay with, because we know that that was supposed to be Kevin Owens' spot. And by putting this match in a cage, we can get Shane with a crazy spot without taking away the pirate ship spot that Kevin Owens is supposed to get. So I do appreciate that. I don't like how this whole build has been off of the fact that Braun's been mad that Shane has been calling him stupid. And to me, they're booking this as, what better way to get revenge than let Shane get thrown off the cage, except for the fact that when you consider that if Braun throws Shane off of the cage, that is how I think this match will end, by the way. I think Braun is going to throw Shane off the cage. We're going to get that, oh my gosh, spot. And in the defeating of Shane McMahon and throwing him off the cage, Shane actually wins this, which I don't love, because, of course, what's the best way to make Braun not look stupid? Have him throw Shane off the cage, which has him lose, which, makes him look stupid. So I don't love that. But the idea of getting Shane thrown off the cage sounds like a cool spot to me. And again, that would give Shane the win there. So I'm going to say that Shane wins, but it's because Braun looks at it and goes, I don't care about the win. I just want to kick your ass. And, not the smartest move when you're trying to prove that you're not dumb, but that's kind of how they've booked Braun lately, is dumb. So unfortunately, we'll see that continue, I think. But again, I'm going to go with Shane McMahon to be your winner here. The Bad Bunny, he's going to take on The Miz. I initially thought, as most people did, this was going to be Damian Priest and Bad Bunny against Miz and Morrison. And while I don't love that Damian Priest isn't going to be in a WrestleMania match, because Damian Priest is very, very good, this is something that does make sense to me. We've seen Bad Bunny and Miz feuding since Royal Rumble, really. And they've done a really good job with that. All reports are that Bunny is taking this extremely serious, and that the locker room really respects that. Honestly, that's probably part of the reason that Miz is working with him and willing to go in a one-on-one match with him, is because of, how all this works. Um, to me, I don't like the idea of Miz losing to a celebrity rapper, but this also isn't John Moxley level serious guy. This is Miz, a guy who is, if you're being honest with yourself, Miz is a guy that has done a lot of good for this company for a long time, and he's filled his role really, really well. His role is not to be serious level John Moxley type of guy. And I know I've mentioned Moxley twice against this now, and I get it. AEW, different, whatever. But Miz is a guy that if he looks dumb from time to time, his character can recover from that just fine. I also wouldn't be surprised if they tried to build Damian Priest in here in a way where he does something that helps Bad Bunny when the ref's not looking, Morrison's distracting, and then Priest does something to Miz or whatever to help Bad Bunny here. So I do think Bad Bunny will win here. I normally would say that sucks for a guy like Miz to lose to a guy like Bad Bunny, but the way they've built this, the way Miz's character works, I can see this being something where he loses and it doesn't kill his character really, and it just elevates Bad Bunny a little bit more. I don't know where you go with this afterwards, but I do think that with all the goodwill that Bad Bunny has done for WWE, this is a spot where he can win this one, and it won't actually surprise me outside of just the like, whoa, he actually did it. I think Miz is the guy that can recover from this type of a loss. So I'm going to go with Bad Bunny to be your winner here. We got another guy getting into his very first match. You got AJ Styles, not in his very first match, teaming up with Omos, or Omos, I believe is the proper pronunciation. I want to make sure I'm doing that right. AJ Styles and Omos, or Omos, is going to take on Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods for the Raw Tag Team titles. And again, normally in a normal situation, a guy in his first match beating a team like the New Day isn't really something I would like, because the New Day are 11-time tag champs. They are easily Hall of Fame worthy talents, and they just won these titles. However, this is a unique situation of how you're building this. I do think that this makes the Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin losing the titles to the New Day. I think this helps make more sense, because Cedric and Shelton against AJ and Omos wouldn't make any sense. This, you can actually make it make sense, and they have done it. And again, it's been comedy mostly, but it has worked for me at least. I don't like the idea of New Day being a transition champ, but with this story, I can kind of get it. What I think we'll probably see here is Omos doing some cool spots to really show off how big he is, how strong he is. But, and again, pardon the pun here, I expect AJ to do most of the quote unquote heavy lifting, where he'll do most of the work. And then again, Omos gets a couple of fun spots in there that really shows how big he is. But realistically, when you talk about a guy making their wrestling debut at WrestleMania with a crowd for the first time in over a year, you couldn't put him with too many better people. Xavier and Kofi are fantastic at selling. They're small enough to really be able to sell how big Omos is. They're all very, very safe. AJ Styles is good enough to be a tag champion, honestly, by himself, where this can make a lot of sense, and this can really do a lot of that smoke and mirrors to hide Omos's things that he can't do yet, because again, this is his first match. He's not been around for that long. He hasn't gotten a lot of in-ring, on-camera experience. So this is a way to really protect that while also doing something pretty fun. So I think AJ and Omos win these tag titles. I think that's a good way to continue to elevate him as a legitimate star in a unique role. And again, Kofi and Xavier being champs for a month, they've had the titles for 11 times. This isn't going to hurt them in any way, I don't think, especially with the way that they'll do this, with AJ doing most of the offense for his team. And then again, Omos getting some of those big spots in there. So I'm going to go with new tag champs. Sorry for the quick delay or the quick screen shakes on there. Getting some WWE practice of a lot of camera cuts there. So we'll jump into the next match, which is the WWE Championship between your champion, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre, who is a former champion, of course. My guess is that this actually gets called based on crowd reaction. I think because this is going to be one of those times where you go, we have fans here. These guys have both really been built pretty well over the last year. I would argue that Lashley has been built better over the last year than Drew has, but Drew was your champion as opposed to Bobby, who was the U.S. champion for quite a bit. But over the last year, these guys really helped you through the pandemic on Raw, doing your big storylines. Again, to me, Bobby is the better champion. He's been a little bit more protected, but Drew has been protected really well. The issue is that they've really, in an attempt to protect Drew, they've also really made him look like a total dork, and I don't love that. So my guess is that when the crowd hears both entrances, Vince McMahon will be in the back and he will go off of the crowd reaction to both guys coming in the early stages of the match. And then he will, through the earpiece to the referee, make the decision of Bobby or Drew, and they'll call it right in the ring at the end. And then we'll go that way. I would love to see Bobby Lashley retain here. And then to me, all that I need is Leo Rush coming in going, Lashley, Lashley, Lashley. To me, that would be perfect. I know that it won't happen. Leo Rush will be very busy this WrestleMania weekend. Go check out his GCW work. He's going to wrestle just about everybody, including Jordan Oliver, who, again, for those of you who have not heard me brag about how great Jordan Oliver is, that dude is going to be a star for a long time. So go check him out. He did a match at GCW Fight Forever a couple months ago, a 2-hour Iron Man match. So a guy that can go for a long time and can also do some pretty good aggressive, violent stuff too. He's got some CZW background as well. So go check those guys out as well. This weekend's going to be a very fun fun weekend for wrestling. I'm so excited. My words are going all over the place. So let's get into the main event match for night one. Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, a match that should be a lot more fun than the way it's been booked, and a match that should have been booked a lot better than it was. This match being built off of Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble in a moment that was absolutely beautiful. This should have been a beautiful masterpiece of a story between two young, powerful Black women who have become major stars for this company. But in typical WWE fashion, it's instead been a can they coexist storyline where they're tag teaming and failing. They're dealing with Cirque du Soleil performers and Reginald. And again, a match that really should have been able to move the business forward in a way not seen really ever. Because again, we've had a female WrestleMania main event with Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte a couple years ago, and that was fantastic. But this is again another way to move your company forward in another big step, and they've really fumbled it every step of the way. And again, this is not Bianca and Sasha's fault. This is WWE's creative that has failed them, and I feel terrible for them for that. But for me, I at least look at it and say, you know what, the in-ring work should be amazing. These two, assuming they give them the time, which this is WrestleMania. If you're not going to give them the time here, when are you ever going to give them the time ever again? So I would assume they give them the time here. Their offenses are both very fun. These two can both really, really sell pain well too. So they can really put on a good show here. And again, the story probably wasn't what they wanted either. They can at least put on a match that they can be proud of. I am very excited to see this match. I hope that Bianca wins. So I'm going to pick Bianca Belair to win here. If she doesn't, what I would like to see is her snap and kind of turn heel, because she was trying to play along and play nice with Sasha, trying to play the corporate game and all that stuff. And what did it get her? A crap build to a crap storyline. And all that it was her being put to the side. And now she's focused. She turns it around. You can do some kind of a rematch later between them. But again, you've got two big stars here that really should be leading your company into the future. And to me, Bianca is the one that you go with here. And you can capitalize on that amazing Royal Rumble moment. Again, they have not built this the way that I would have liked them to, but I am going to go with Bianca to win this one. I think she totally deserves it, and I will be very, very excited to see this match. Again, regardless of how it goes down, the build has been terrible, but I'm very happy that these two are getting to have their WrestleMania moment. And again, I'm going to go with Bianca to be your winner here. That's going to conclude night one. We'll transition right into night two, where our first match, again, I don't know the order here, but first match we'll talk about for night two will be Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn. This is a match that their story is their career together. I would have liked to have seen a couple more weeks to build this up. It does seem like they pretty much said, hey, we got a couple weeks to go. Kevin, Sami, you guys want to do something at Mania? And they went, yeah, sure. And they haven't really been able to build it that well. But you do have Kevin being the pretty much the baby face here, and Sami is of course the paranoid heel. I do expect that Kevin Owens is going to get his pirate ship spot. Again, I'm so excited for that spot that I can't say it. And to me, what a great way to make Sami still that conspiracy theory heel than to have Kevin Owens get thrown off of a pirate ship somehow and still win the match. To me, that's a way for Sami to pretty much continue that conspiracy theory that, look, I did all of this and the system and Kevin betrayed me, and Kevin had the system on his side, even though we know that they don't. But in Sami's world, that's how he'll take it. So I'm going to go with Kevin Owens to win this one. And again, we'll see where they take this afterwards, because I would hope that given this backstory, that this is something that maybe you kick off at Mania and you run it through the summer and end it at SummerSlam or something. Because this is, again, just supposed to be a traditional singles match. But I can see them finding a way to get some kind of a unique thing with Kevin and the pirate ship. Maybe it's a post-match deal where Sami still gets mad and he doesn't let it go, and then we see something like that. So I do hope that Kevin Owens gets that pirate ship spot that he wanted for last year. So I'm going to go with Kevin to win this one, though. We'll have Riddle, the U.S. champion, take on Sheamus. I don't truly know if Riddle was supposed to be this champion in the first place. We did see back at a couple of months ago when he won this by beating Morrison in the match that also had Bobby Lashley in it. So we know Keith Lee was supposed to be in that match and then got pulled. Still don't exactly know what his situation is, but I do hope he's doing well, and I hope that we get to see him again soon. But I look at this and say, okay, Riddle was your champion. I think Riddle was probably supposed to get pinned by Lee, but he hasn't really been around. So again, you kind of hold that title until you have a plan. Sheamus has been putting on fantastic matches for really the last 6 months. But he's been working with a lot of guys that they've been putting over, guys like Drew, guys like Bobby. And so he's taken a lot of losses. And I don't like losing your way into a title, but he did just pin Riddle on Raw, which doesn't mean anything, I know. But to me, a way that you reward Sheamus for, hey, the last 6 months you have put a lot of people over, you've done your job very well. Here's your title match, and then put the US title on Sheamus, and then you can do something else with it over the summer. And again, I don't know if Riddle was supposed to be the champ or not. If he was supposed to be, I think we'll find out here, because I think if Riddle beats Sheamus, he'll probably hold on to it for a little while longer, and that'll really kind of tell us more of what that plan was. But again, I'm going to go Sheamus to be your new champion here. We've got Apollo Crews is going to take on the Intercontinental Champion, Big E. This is a Nigerian drum fight. Basically, this is a no disqualification match that they are gimmicking up based on Apollo Crews's story of being a descendant of Nigerian royalty, and a lot of stuff that we've seen that. I don't know that they've built this well. I don't know that they're doing Apollo's character the way that he's wanted. Now, I don't know that he's not happy with it either, so don't anyone misinterpret that. But I get the feeling that this hasn't hit the way that he's wanted it to. And again, that's pure speculation. I don't actually know anything of that, so don't anyone take that as quoting anything. But Apollo's had, I believe, 6 shots at this Intercontinental title over the last couple of months, and Big E has beaten him repeatedly. So I pretty much go, okay, why do you keep doing this? Other than Apollo faces everybody 13 times, and he's not at 13 yet with Big E. We saw Apollo with Hurt Business throughout most of 2020. We're kind of getting that same thing with him and Big E right here with 2021. So I go, well, eventually he's going to get it, right? What a better time than WrestleMania for him to get it. It's not a good way to build it, but I do think that that's where they're going. I think Apollo wins this, and bummer for Big E that he's got to lose it to a guy that he's beaten this many times. But who knows where they're going after that? Who knows where the other title scenes are going to go? So I do feel bad for Big E, because I think he deserved to defend it against a few more people. He's deserved to maybe get a little more spotlight on this. But again, if you keep doing these matches with Apollo, at what point do you give it to Apollo? I think it'll be right here. Oh man, this is a match that confuses me. The Fiend and Randy Orton. Now, us getting this match is not confusing to me. I understand that, but this is a straight singles match as of right now. Now, I'm hoping that we get told on Monday Night Raw, or even after Monday Night Raw, that, oh, look, it's going to be a Funhouse match, or it's at least going to be a no DQ match or something. But as it currently sits, we've got a singles match here. And that's weird to me, because this match is rooted in the Fiend being burned alive. And now we're going to do a match that has rope breaks and countouts and disqualifications. It just seems weird to me. The man was lit on fire, and now he can't use a chair or a stick without a disqualification. That to me doesn't make any storyline sense. So again, I'm hoping this becomes a Funhouse match, but as it currently sits, I look at this match and go, it's Orton and the Fiend. They have buried the Fiend several times already. This is supposed to be a new incarnation of him. Unless it is Randy Orton finishing off the Fiend for good and we get a new Bray Wyatt character, at SummerSlam, and this whole build, this whole new mask, and all this stuff was for essentially one match. I don't really think that's the best use of Bray Wyatt, but I also don't know that Bray Wyatt's going to wrestle in this attire for a long period of time. So I won't be surprised regardless, but I am going to go with the Fiend just out of the hope that they're not continuing to bury him. Unless, of course, the long term story that he's going to be reborn out of the ashes into something more beautiful, that Phoenix Rising type of thing. Bray's a deep guy. I could see him doing that, but I'm going to go with the Fiend here just because, man, they can't keep burying him, can they? I know it's WWE, so they might, but I'm going to go with the Fiend anyways. We got the Raw Women's Championship on the line. Champion Asuka is going to take on Rhea Ripley. Now, full disclosure, Rhea Ripley is my favorite women's wrestler right now. Favorite of all time. I don't know that she's there yet, but she's in the conversation. I love watching her just be, as her song says, brutality. I love watching her matches. She is fantastic. So I'll make it very simple. I am going to pick Rhea Ripley here. I do feel bad for Asuka because her title reign has been a long one, but it has really been quite meaningless and largely forgetful. She's often been a side act to some really stupid tag teams. She was tagging with Lana while Lana was getting thrown through tables. She was tagging with Charlotte while Charlotte was dealing with a now pregnant Lacey Evans. And we should also remember the original plan for this WrestleMania for this title match was Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair, neither of which are in this match. Rhea Ripley was basically plan D. So while it's a great plan D, I don't want to give them too much credit for this great match because they stumbled into this one because somebody got pregnant, somebody got COVID, and they needed some options here. So now, again, we still have over a week before WrestleMania. Word is that Charlotte Flair is now cleared of having COVID. So if she was to be inserted into this match, you've got a unique story with Rhea and Charlotte there. But I would say that Rhea is going to be your champion here. I would love to see this be kind of that way that Rhea fixes the issue from last year that we never saw a good payoff for. And this is how you start to fix that. Rhea needs to win this title. And to me, I'd say you slaughter everyone on the roster with her until either Becky or Ronda comes back. And again, that can be a long time from now. Or, and again, I am fantasy booking way out into the future here, but I can dream, can't I? I would love to see Rhea hold this title for a full year. And next year at WrestleMania 38, you get Rhea against the Royal Rumble winner that I would love to see be someone we talked about in the takeover video, Raquel Gonzalez. That would be a great match, in my opinion. You get a full year of Rhea being champion. And then, of course, who's the one that gets her next year at WrestleMania? The person she feuded with quite a bit in NXT, Raquel Gonzalez. Now, obviously, you've got the Shayna story that you can do there too. They've already kind of gotten into that, unfortunately. But we'll see how all that'll work out as well. So yeah, we're gonna get that going on there as well. So I'm gonna go with Rhea as your champion here. For the Universal Championship, we've got the big dog, Roman Reigns, head of the table, the tribal chief. He's going to take on Daniel Bryan. He's going to take on Edge. WWE wanted this as a triple threat, and I guess they got what they wanted. Probably not what all of us wanted. I know it's not what I wanted, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to see these three guys in a match. I would have loved to have seen this just been a one-on-one match. I didn't really like the build. They really got messy with this. And again, this is what they wanted. They wanted these three guys in this match, and so they got it. They tried to tell a complicated story, and to me, we just got a messy story that really didn't put anybody over that well. So what I expect to happen is I expect Roman is going to pin Daniel Bryan. That's going to piss off Edge. Edge and Daniel Bryan are going to get mad at each other because you cost me the title and all that stuff. And then we get a Bryan and Edge grudge match somewhere along the lines. I would love to see it at SummerSlam, but I don't think that they'll wait that long. So whether it's Money in the Bank, whether it's Extreme Rules or whatever the pay-per-views are between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. I can see Bryan and Edge getting a grudge match with them. Maybe the winner gets another shot at Roman or something like that. Or maybe Edge moves over to Raw and starts going after Bobby Lashley or Drew McIntyre, depending on how that goes out too. So to me, Roman has to win this one. Anything other than Roman winning is a mistake. If you have Roman lose this, he definitely can't take the pin. And then he has to then kind of go after somebody, which can be a good story. But to me, Roman needs to win this one. To me, it's the only thing that really makes any sense is that Roman retains and then Edge and Bryan tell their story afterwards, and Roman can run through somebody else later. So, again, I'm going to go with Roman Reigns to be your winner there. And that is going to be your card. Again, assuming everything stays as it currently sits, that will be your entire card there. So we'll have Saturday and Sunday, April 10th, April 11th. This will all be on the Peacock Network. And realistically, this is just the smack dab of the middle of 2 weeks of fantastic wrestling all over the place. So we'll see the Raw after Mania the next night. And then we get all the Monday through Friday television wrestling between AEW and Impact and WWE and all their brands and all that stuff. So a good, crazy, busy time. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching this. If you get a chance to watch the Takeover Stand and Deliver predictions that I've already put up there too, please give that a watch if you have not done so. Give the videos a thumbs up. Give my channel a subscribe. If you tap that bell for notifications, it will email you. I have heard some people saying that, hey, I'm getting the emails several days after the show. That's also why I'm trying to get this out here a little bit early too. So hopefully the YouTube can quit holding me down. So again, hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram at AngryBeaver1127. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching this. I really, really do appreciate you guys that have reached out to me, that have followed me on Twitter, that have retweeted stuff, that have messaged me and commented to me and all that stuff. It really does mean a lot to me to hear that people are enjoying these. So again, hopefully you get a chance to watch WrestleMania, Takeover Stand and Deliver. I'll be doing another video for Impact's Hardcore Justice that'll be on Saturday, April 10th as well. So keep an eye out for that as well. We'll get a lot of good wrestling over the next 13 days. Again, I've mentioned that you can find me on Throwback's channel most Tuesdays. I will be doing a prediction show with him and Tad Predicts tomorrow, Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So if you catch us live for that, that'll be fun. It'll be a couple people just kind of talking about these same matches, but I'll go a little less in depth. We'll be more conversation based. So feel free to join us and be in the chat and stuff. We'll interact with everybody in the chat too. And I do want to give a plug to a product that is not supporting me financially or anything, but has supported me in a variety of other ways, just with being informative and everything. If you are not a subscriber to Fightful Select, it's a $5 a month program that really provides the best resources in pro wrestling. Again, it's $5 a month. You're supporting a really, really good company that puts out great content, and they put out great content pretty much every day of the week. So if you go to Fightful.com, sign up for their select service. If you're listening from England, they are also known as WrestleMyBritishGranny.com. That staff has been fantastic to me. Sean Ross Sapp, Jeremy Lambert, Joe Hulbert, Carlos Toro, Robert DeFelice, Alex Pulowski, Molly Bell. I know I'm forgetting some other people. Obviously, the owner, Jimmy Van, but that entire company has been absolutely fantastic. Best $5 a month you can spend for wrestling content. So please go to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe for their service as well. Those guys are really fantastic people. And, you know, your money goes a lot longer with them than it does with some of those bigger companies. So give Fightful Select a subscribe and, you know, join their service as well. So again, thanks everyone for listening to me. I really do appreciate those of you that are watching. And until next time, I will, we'll be back with more videos very soon. So keep that subscribe open. Follow me on Twitter at AngryBeaver1127. And again, thank you so very much for watching. And until next time, we are out. Thank you so much for watching.